In the morning, citizens. Welcome to today's news and guidance for Saturday, August 23rd, 2025. Coming at you live from somewhere in New Orleans, let's look at today's items. I'm Faders DeFis, and joining me to help us unpack a truly fascinating stack of sources today is the insightful Mater.
Great to be here. Quite a mix today.
Absolutely. And this is your custom-tailored deep dive. Our mission, simple. To be your shortcut to being incredibly well-informed, we sift through global headlines, cutting-edge tech, local New Orleans stuff, even some ancient wisdom, all curated for you.
Right. The idea is you get those aha moments, maybe some surprising facts, but without the info overload.
Exactly. You've got important things to do, and we're here to help connect those dots for you. And before we jump in, a big shout out to our sponsor, Small Batch Steve at shop.sbasp.com.
Ah, yes. Survival seasoning.
If you haven't tried survival seasoning, you're missing out. Seriously, it's a game changer.
Good stuff.
Okay, let's unpack this first stack. We got general, global, national news items, a lot to process here.
Yeah, definitely. From, humanitarian crises to politics, cyber events. It's packed.
Let's start with the really tough news out of Gaza. Famine has officially been declared. Beyond the obvious tragedy, what are the specific clinical criteria that push a food crisis to that level, to an official declaration, and what does it actually compel people to do?
Well, what's crucial to understand is that a famine declaration isn't just about widespread hunger, though that's obviously part of it. It's a specific legal and political trigger. The system they use, the IPC scale, demands these extremely dire thresholds.
Like what, specifically?
But at least 20% of households facing just extreme food shortages, over 30% of children acutely malnourished, and maybe the snarkest, 2 people per 10,000 dying daily just from starvation.
Wow, that's incredibly specific and grim.
It is, and the declaration itself is designed to trigger specific, often mandatory international aid responses. It can also put significant political pressure on everyone involved. It basically turns a crisis into an international obligation.
So it's a critical distinction then, not just an alert, but a mechanism really designed to force action.
Precisely.
And speaking of urgent action, let's pivot slightly to other pressing challenges. Environmental ones, closer to home maybe. We're seeing urgent evacuations over in California's Napa County, wildfires blazing there. A pretty stark reminder of, well, our changing climate realities.
Always worrying this time of year.
And then on the domestic policy front, the social media platform Blue Skinif, they've actually ceased operations in Mississippi.
Oh, really? Why is that?
It's because of a new age verification law there. And, this isn't really an isolated thing. It kind of hints at this growing tension between state laws and how digital platforms operate.
Right. The broader implication there is you could end up with this fragmented digital landscape. I mean, age verification laws, they often aim to protect minors, which is understandable, but they can create huge operational hurdles for tech companies. You might get a patchwork internet where services just vary wildly state by state or even country to country. Makes you wonder how effective that kind of approach can really be.
Yeah, real patchwork. And that fragmentation, it seems to extend to global trade, too. We're seeing European shippers pausing some parcels headed for the U.S. because of shifting tariff rules.
Ah, tariffs again.
Yeah. It's a clear example of how fast global commerce can get disrupted by policy changes. Impacts everyone from small businesses right down to, individual consumers. And domestically, the political scene is, buzzing, ongoing scrutiny, policy shifts. There are reports that the Trump administration halted work on a nearly finished wind farm.
Okay.
And claims that Intel plans to give the U.S. government a 10% stake. Plus, the FBI is searching former advisor John Bolton's home. So these are all significant reported developments. Keeps the political conversation pretty active, to say the least.
And the ripple effects from those kinds of policy decisions and investigations are just profound. From trade tariffs creating economic uncertainty to specific project stoppages impacting energy development or even corporate stakes raising questions about government influence. These things aren't isolated. They shape investment decisions, market stability, and ultimately they affect the economy right down to individual livelihoods.
Absolutely. Now, let's talk about where things get, I think, really interesting. The escalating battle against cybercrime. Interpol recently led Operation Serengeti 2.0, massive international crackdown. Over 1,200 arrests of cybercriminal gangs across Africa.
1,200? That's huge.
It is. What does that scale of coordination tell us about how these cross-border threats are evolving?
Well, it tells us cybercrime isn't just, lone hackers in basements anymore. It's highly organized, it's transnational, and increasingly sophisticated, often mirroring structures of traditional crime syndicates. That Interpol operation really highlights how necessary global law enforcement collaboration is just to even begin to counter such a pervasive threat.
A necessary fight.
Hmm.
But the threats aren't just external, are they? The kidney dialysis firm DaVita, they recently confirmed a ransomware attack, compromised personal and health info for nearly 2.7 million individuals.
Oh, wow. 2.7 million. That's a staggering amount of sensitive data. Health information, too.
Exactly. And then there's this other striking case. A software developer got a 4-year prison sentence
For what?
for using custom malware and a kill switch against his ex-employer's Windows network.
Oof. The insider threat. That really underscores the potential damage from within.
Absolutely. These incidents, taken together, they paint a pretty stark picture, don't they?
Yeah.
Cyber threats are coming from every direction.
Yeah, from sophisticated organized crime exploiting global vulnerabilities to, like you said, the very real danger of internal sabotage. The critical insight here, I think, is that robust digital security isn't just about firewalls anymore. It demands this multi-layered approach,
Right.
addressing external attacks and potential insider threats, and recognizing that often the human factors are the weakest link in the chain.
So true. Okay, let's shift gears a bit. Let's dive into the world of science and technology. We find both incredible innovation there, but also these persistent challenges. On the innovation side, have you heard about Menem?
Menem. Can't say I have. What is it?
It's an open-source animation engine designed specifically for making explanatory math videos. It's up on GitHub.
Oh, that sounds fantastic. Visualizing math concepts.
Yeah. And speaking of open source, there's also LibreBox. It's an open-source game engine designed to be compatible with Roblox.
Interesting. So more open source alternatives popping up. What's the bigger picture impact of these kinds of initiatives?
Well, the key takeaway really is the democratizing power of open source development. It's not just about getting free tools. It genuinely accelerates innovation.
How so?
By allowing a wider community to contribute, to innovate, to adapt the technology, these projects often lead to more robust, secure, and accessible solutions than, closed proprietary systems. It fosters this global culture of shared knowledge and collaborative problem solving. Really pushes the boundaries of what's possible. That collaborative spirit is definitely vital. But, in the nuts and bolts of computing, some challenges are more fundamental, like these bad Unicode issues. There's an item circulating about RFC 9839 and related concerns.
Ah, Unicode. Fun stuff.
For those of us who aren't character encoding experts, what exactly are we talking about with bad Unicode, or this RFC 9839?
Right. That's a great question because it affects almost every digital interaction we have, even if we don't realize it. RFC 9839, request for comments, it's not just tech jargon. It's basically a standard document, like a rule book. It dictates how internet systems handle text characters.
Everything, like letters, emojis.
Everything. English letters, emojis, non-English alphabets, the works. Bad Unicode issues happen when systems mess up, when they misinterpret or just fail to properly implement these standards. And that can lead to anything from, garbled messages in your emails to actually critical security vulnerabilities. So, consistent character encoding is absolutely vital for reliable global communication.
Okay, so it's about making sure our digital conversations don't turn into gibberish or worse, open up security holes. Got it. And the cyber threats, they just keep evolving, don't they? We're tracking Murky Panda, also known as Silk Typhoon.
State-sponsored group, right? Chinese.
That's right. They're reportedly exploiting trusted relationships in cloud environments to hack downstream customers. That's a sophisticated supply chain attack.
Indeed. And a supply chain attack here means they go after a seemingly secure vendor, maybe a cloud service provider that lots of other companies trust.
Right, leverage that trust.
Exactly. They use that trust to then gain access to all the clients of that vendor. It's essentially weaponizing trust itself.
Clever, in a nefarious way.
And then you've got Pakistani APT-36 cyber spies, APT meaning Advanced Persistent Threat, usually state-sponsored groups. They're apparently using Linux.desktop files to install malware, targeting government and defense entities in India.
And for Mac users, another heads up, there's a new info stealer malware called Shamos.
Shamos, how's that one work?
It targets devices through something called click fix attacks. They basically impersonate troubleshooting guides to trick users into installing the malware.
Ah, social engineering again.
So what makes those desktop files a clever vector on Linux, and what exactly are these click-fix attacks?
Well, the cleverness with desktop files is their deceptive simplicity. They're basically just desktop shortcuts or application launchers on Linux systems.
Things you click all the time?
Exactly. Users are conditioned to click them without much thought. So weaponizing those lets malware execute under the guise of a legitimate application launch. And click-fix attacks are similar. They exploit user trust. You get these fake troubleshooting guides popping up telling you to download and install what looks like a fix.
But it's actually the malware.
Precisely. These methods really highlight how attackers are increasingly blending technical exploits with that social engineering piece to succeed.
Seems like even the best intentions can sometimes go wrong, too. Microsoft confirmed its August 2025 security updates are causing severe lag and stuttering.
Oh dear. With what software?
With NDI streaming software on some Windows 10 and 11 systems. And NDI, for those who don't know, is pretty critical for professional video production over networks.
Yeah, that's a big deal for creators and broadcasters. A real headache.
And to add to that, Microsoft is also apparently seeking feedback from customers who reported failure and data corruption.
On their drives?
Yeah, affecting their solid-state drives and hard disk drives after installing the same August 2025 security update.
Wow, talk about a double whammy. First performance issues, now potential data loss.
Right. It really shows that profound ripple effect of software updates. They're intended to improve security, obviously.
But they can inadvertently create huge operational challenges for users and even, hardware stability issues like data corruption. It highlights the immense complexities of system interoperability and the rigorous testing needed before you push something out widely. It's just a constant, delicate balancing act.
Security, functionality, compatibility, always a tightrope walk.
Oh.
Okay, speaking of living live from somewhere in New Orleans, let's bring it home. Let's dive into the local headlines, give you a flavor of what's happening right here in the Crescent City.
All right, NOL news.
First up, bit of celebrity and real estate news. Actor John Goodman sold his New Orleans residence.
Oh, yeah. For how much?
Well, the notable part is he apparently cut the asking price by a hefty $700,000 before it sold.
Wow, $700,000. That's a significant adjustment even for New Orleans real estate.
It is. And for those looking to enjoy the city itself, there's a new New Orleans bar guide out. Details 10 essential bars.
Nice. With drink recommendations.
With recommendations on what drinks to order, especially in or near the French Quarter. Always good to have pointers.
Definitely.
And there's also a curated list offering 12 activities and attractions recommended by locals for visitors.
Ah, that's the best kind of list. You know you're getting the authentic experience when the locals weigh in.
Exactly. And these items, they paint a pretty vibrant picture of New Orleans.
Yeah. The real estate news gives you a glimpse into local economic movements, maybe. But the bar guide, the local recommendations, that really showcases the city's lively spirit. Its enduring cultural appeal. It's a city that really balances its unique identity with the realities of its local economy.
It does. And on the local governance front, there's been the indictment of New Orleans Mayor LaToya Cantrell. The reaction described as sad, disappointed, but not surprised. Certainly a significant development for the city's political history.
Adds another layer to the city story.
And on a much more immediate, urgent note, there was a mandatory emergency evacuation issued up in Roseland.
Roseland, what happened?
A massive explosion and fire at a plant there. Drone footage captured the event. Looked pretty alarming for the community.
Wow, yeah, that's serious. How do cities like New Orleans navigate these kinds of challenges? Political issues, unforeseen emergencies like a plant explosion, all while trying to maintain their distinct character and community resilience.
It's a constant test, isn't it? A test of local leadership, the community's organizational capacity.
It really is. And it's often a testament to a city's enduring spirit that it continues to thrive amidst such varied challenges. New Orleans certainly has that spirit.
It does. And, what this all means for the region, I think, is we see this microcosm of national issues playing out locally.
Like what?
Like urban governance challenges, emergency response effectiveness, economic shifts in real estate, and always that vibrant draw of its unique culture.
Yeah, New Orleans really does seem to have its finger on the pulse, both its own unique identity and these broader societal trends.
Absolutely. Okay, now, after navigating through all that fast-paced news and tech, let's take a breath. Let's turn to some timeless guidance. Our sources include some profound wisdom from Proverbs 23.
Proverbs. Always relevant.
It offers this framework for navigating life with integrity, wisdom, respect. Themes that really resonate amidst all the complexity we just talked about. The text advises, and I'll quote a bit here, "Let not thine heart envy sinners, but be thou in the fear of the Lord all the day long. For surely there is an end, and thine expectation shall not be cut off. And also, hearken unto thy father that begat thee, and despise not thy mother when she is old." And finally, buy the truth and sell it not. Also, wisdom and instruction and understanding. Proverbs 23, verses 17 to 18 and 22-23.
Wow. That ancient advice offers incredibly relevant insight, especially thinking about the cybercrime and maybe some of the political stories we just discussed. When we see, cyber criminals or maybe those engaged in corruption seemingly prospering, this wisdom reminds us not to envy their path, not to envy their temporary ill-gotten gains.
Right. Focus elsewhere.
Exactly. Instead, it urges us to maintain the fear of the Lord, which, you can interpret as a deep reverence for moral principles, a trust in an ultimate enduring justice. And that perspective, it provides a true security, a peace that external fleeting success just can never offer.
That resonates really deeply. It's about grounding yourself in something more solid than just fleeting fortunes or deceptive appearances. And the text also highlights respecting that foundational wisdom, right? Guidance passed down through generations, symbolized by hearkening unto thy father and despising not thy mother when she is old.
Yeah, and it's not just literally about parents, is it? It's about honoring the cumulative wisdom that has stood the test of time. It can be an anchor in a world that changes so rapidly.
A valuable anchor.
And that instruction to buy the truth and sell it not, also wisdom and instruction and understanding, that feels particularly powerful in our information-saturated age.
How so?
Well, when we're bombarded with everything from, like you mentioned, those fake Mac fixes that actually install malware.
Right, deception.
To deceptive narratives about political events or whatever else. This wisdom tells us that truth and sound understanding, they aren't just free-flowing. They require active effort, active acquisition, diligent discernment, and vigilant safeguarding. You have to protect it once you have it.
So it makes you consider.
Exactly. It makes you consider, for you, our listener, in this world of rapidly changing tech and just information overload, how diligently are you seeking truth and sound understanding? And how do you safeguard it against, fleeting trends or deceptive narratives? It's really about discerning what is truly valuable and enduring and then holding on to it.
Powerful stuff. We've certainly covered a lot today. Global crises, political shifts, tech innovations, cyber threats.
Kept an eye on New Orleans.
Kept a pulse on vibrant New Orleans, definitely. And then grounding ourselves in that timeless guidance from Proverbs. Understanding these connections, that's really key to being truly informed, I think.
Agreed. Connecting the dots.
So what does this all mean for you? Today's deep dive, it just reminds us that whether you're navigating complex news headlines or just personal challenges, that pursuit of truth and wisdom, that's our most valuable asset.
Well said.
Now, for our clip of the day, we have to highlight the DaVita ransomware attack.
Yeah, that number.
That number, 2.7 million individuals having their personal and health data stolen. It's just such a stark reminder that even trusted institutions face these immense digital risks. It really makes you pause and think hard about the security of your own information, doesn't it?
It absolutely should. A sobering thought.
Definitely.
So, as you go about your day, maybe consider this. How can you actively buy the truth in your daily information consumption? Is it by diversifying your sources, questioning assumptions, or maybe taking the time to truly understand the why behind the headlines? Not just the what, something to chew on.
A great question to leave folks with. And once again, a huge thanks to Small Badge Steve for making this deep dive possible. Find them at shop.sbsb.com for that amazing survival seasoning.
Get yours today.
That's all for today's news and guidance here on The Deep Dive. Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and most importantly, adios, mofos.